Hello all, I'm Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This is actually going to be the first vlog in a series of vlogs that I am planning on doing this summer, where I am going to be reading one genre for an entire week. So I have created a spinner wheel to gamify this vlog series a little bit. I will pop it on the screen right here for you. And basically we are just going to spin the wheel to see which genre I am going to be reading for each vlog. So let's go ahead and do that. Here is the first genre spin. I'm excited to see what I get. So here we go. All right, that is perfect because that is horror. And I have a horror book that I need to read this month for the Literally Dead book club. So that's perfect. So I have made kind of a preliminary list of books for each of these genres, and I will be kind of talking you through them as I read them. My goal is probably to read 3 to 4 books per week. I will be on summer break, so I will have more time to read, but we'll kind of just play it by ear. Some genres may take me a little bit longer to get through than others, so we'll see how it goes. But the one I will be starting with in this vlog is the Literally Dead book club pick for May, and that is Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker. I do have this on audio, so that is how I will be reading this one. This one just came in at the library, so I was not sure if I was going to be able to get it in time, but they actually ordered enough audiobook copies that the 4 of us that were waiting for it, and I was last in line, all got it when it came out. So that's perfect. I'm very excited to read this one. Let me go ahead and just read you a little bit of the synopsis. It says, Cora Zhang is a crime scene cleaner, but the bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific thing possible, her sister being pushed in front of a train. The killer was never caught, and Cora is still haunted by his last words. Bat Eater. These days, nobody can reach Cora, not her aunt, who wants her to prepare for the Hungry Ghost Festival, not her weird colleagues, and especially not the slack-jawed shadow lurking around her doorframe. After all, it can't be real, can it? After a series of unexplained killings in Chinatown, Cora believes someone might be targeting East Asian women, and something might be targeting Cora herself. So obviously this is referring to the start of the COVID pandemic and the racism that Asian people were experiencing because of it. So I'm curious to see how this one's gonna go. I've never read anything by this author, so this will be the first book that I'm reading in this vlog, and then I will come back and chat with you about some other ones that I kind of have on my radar. I'm thinking I might want to do like a short story collection, even though I don't have the best of luck with them. I have a couple on my shelf that it would be nice to read, and then I have a couple of other books that I've been eyeing, so I'm gonna put holds in for the library to get those, and then we'll chat about them once they come in. So this is a great first genre for this series. I'm very excited. So I will see you with a reading update when I have one. All right, y'all, it is time to do an update on Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. I have actually finished this book. So this took me about 2-ish days on audio, off and on, and I finished the last, I want to say probably 100 pages just in one go. This is a very quick read, and I actually really enjoyed this one. So horror can be hit or miss for me, and this one really worked. So this is a case of reality being more horrific than like horror elements, if that makes sense. This is set at the start of the COVID pandemic. New York City has just kind of shut down, went on quarantine, lockdown, and we are following Cora, the main character, and her sister. And her sister is the victim of a hate crime. She is shoved into the way of a passing subway train, and she is killed. So there are some, I would say the horror elements in this one have a lot to do with like body-related horror in terms of crime scenes and things like that more than other types of horror, but I wouldn't call this true body horror. It's just kind of adjacent, if you will. I don't really know how to describe it, but as I mentioned, this is more about the realities of being an Asian person in the United States at the start of the COVID pandemic and what that was like. So as I mentioned, we are following Cora. Cora becomes a crime scene cleaner during the pandemic, and that is where like the crime scene related horror elements come into play. So she realizes, along with her other two friends who are also part of this team, that a lot of Asian women are being killed, and they kind of put two and two together that it is hate crime related and that they have a serial killer on their hands. So this is kind of all about solving that mystery, but it definitely has like those horror elements, and I just really liked the way this one was written. I had never read anything by Kylie Lee Baker before, but I will definitely be checking out more from her because this one really worked for me. So I would highly recommend it if you are at all interested. I'm giving it 4 stars, and yeah. While I don't want to say that I had a good time, I did kind of have a good time with this one. I just liked the pace of it. I liked the twists and turns. I liked the way it was written. Cora as a main character was a very interesting perspective. She has some mental health issues that she is dealing with, so that is good representation there, as well as obviously the Asian main character giving Asian representation. The author is Asian, so this is an own voices book, if you will, and I just really, really liked this one. So if you are at all curious about it, I would highly recommend. Sorry I didn't do like a mid-book check-in. I did not get to like the halfway point the first time that I read it. I think I made it like 100 pages in on the first day that I was listening, and then I basically just went through the entire rest of it in one sitting. So yes, very readable, very good. This was a great way to kick off this horror vlog. So this one was a winner. Let's talk about what I am going to be reading next in this vlog. And that is a book that got a lot of hype towards the end of last year, which is We Used to Live Here. This is by Marcus Kleiwer, I think is how it's pronounced. I'm not really sure, but this one has been hyped up a lot. So I'm very curious to see what I'm going to think about this. And yeah, I'm going to probably do a mix of audio and physical. I haven't fully decided on how I'm going to read this one, but I know that this got a lot of hype at the end of 2024, so I'm curious to see what I think. It says, Get Out meets Parasite in this eerily haunting debut and Reddit hit, soon to be a major motion picture. Of course, about 2 homeowners whose lives are turned upside down when the house's previous residents unexpectedly visit. So yes, very excited about this one because I have heard very good things. And my buzzword pick for May did not go well for me. I only made it like 25 pages in before I set it aside because it just wasn't what I wanted to be reading. This has the word "to" in the title though, so I'm going to use this like retroactively as my May buzzword pick. So I'm hoping this one goes better than the one I initially picked for that prompt. But yeah, very excited about this. I will be better about doing a midway through check-in. I think I'll probably come check in maybe around the 100-page mark. Let me see where that would put me. Okay, yeah, there is like a chapter break at that point, so I think that's when I will come back and chat with you and let you know how it's going, but I really, really hope that I like this one because a lot of other people have, so we'll see if it's a winner for me.
2,000 years later.
Hey y'all, it is significantly later than the last clip you just saw. It is now actually July 21st. And I did just finish We Used to Live Here. So as I said in that last clip, I was going to do a check-in at 100 pages. I didn't do that. And in fact, I did not even start this book until the end of June. So yeah, this vlog's a bit of a mess, but I did finish this book. So we'll talk about this one in a minute. First, let me go ahead and just kind of do a little recap of what's been going on and why this vlog has taken so long to finish and actually put out. All right, so I mentioned in a previous vlog that my brother has been rehabbing a house for like the last 2 years, and we were getting towards the end of the rehab process. So I was pitching in and helping quite a bit, which is why my reading in June was not great. And it's also why things have kind of continued into July. But added to that, I adopted 2 kittens back on July 3rd. I showed a little clip of them in the last vlog that I posted, so I'll link that up above. But they are 9 weeks old and they are a handful. They're like having toddlers. So that has really cut down on the amount of reading I've been able to do because I am not in that new house yet, which means the kittens are confined to my current bedroom, which means they need a lot of stimulation and attention to keep them busy and out of trouble. If you stop watching them at all, they will find something to get into. So it's just really made it difficult to do any kind of reading. In fact, We Used to Live Here is only the 2nd book that I have finished in July, and it is July 21st. So my reading's not been great, but I did finish this and I did like it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Okay, so that was one of the kittens. So let me kind of chat about this. So I think most people by now are familiar with what this book is about. I talked about it in the clip that you saw before this. So we are following Eve, and I would say this book is like psychological horror because Eve is not really sure if what she is seeing, hearing, experiencing is reality or real life, or if she is having some kind of mental breakdown or something. And for the majority of the book, you're right along there with Eve trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Overall, I really liked the vibes of this. The writing is really good. It draws you in. Also, sorry about the lawnmower. I can't do anything about that. But it really pulls you in. There were some truly creepy scenes in this book that really had me on the edge of my seat and, you know, feeling very anxious right along with Eve. My issue with this book is that it has a very ambiguous ending, and I am not personally a fan of ambiguous endings. I want my books to be wrapped up nice and neat. I don't really want to have any extra questions. And I feel like this one, there are just so many things left unsaid that for me, it wasn't a completely satisfying reading experience. So while I really enjoyed it, I can't give it 5 stars. Now, I am glad that I picked up my own copy of this though. So throughout this book, there are little pieces of Morse code. So if you can see, I actually went online and found like the Morse code alphabet and was, you know, decoding, if you will, the Morse code throughout the book. This book also has mixed media. So we have some emails, we have some interviews, we have articles from newspapers, flyers, advertising different things. So there's a lot of mixed media in this book, which I liked as well. And in fact, I stopped listening to the audio because I realized the experience would just be better if I was reading physically. There's also a section in here where it's got some symbols. Now, unfortunately, the symbols are not completely spelled out, so I was not able to like fully decode them. Let me pull up an example of the symbols so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's like a string of symbols like right here. That's never deciphered, like we don't know what that is. There is like a little glimpse of whatever those symbols mean like at the front here, but not enough to fully decode whatever that message is trying to say. So yeah, I would definitely recommend reading physically because I really liked the way that the mixed media elements were interspersed, and of course the Morse code as well. So 4 stars for this one. I'm really glad I read this. I can see why it got so much hype at the end of last year. If it sounds at all like something you are interested in, I would highly recommend it, but just know there are a lot of questions left unanswered at the end. I actually would really love a second book, not necessarily following the same characters here, maybe looking at some of the other people who are looking into what this house is doing and things like that. There's just some mentions of some groups, like conspiracy theory groups that are trying to figure things out, and I think that would be really interesting to read about, but I don't know if he has any plans for that. I just thought I'd mention that. So Liked this, 4 stars, glad I read it. Also, this is my official May buzzword pick because it does have the word to in it. So this is gonna replace Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers, which is the one that I was initially gonna read that I just did not jive with within like the first 25 pages. So I haven't fully decided to give up on that one yet, but just wanted to throw that out there. This does also satisfy that May buzzword prompt. So, okay, this one's done. Now, I am going to go back in time to the end of June so that you can see the next book, the other book, I should say, that I read for this vlog. This was supposed to be a 1 week, 1 genre vlog, but this has been more like a 2-month, 1 genre vlog with a bunch of other books interspersed into it. So this vlog did not do what I thought it was going to do, but that was solely because I just did not have the amount of time for reading that I thought I was going to have, which is okay. I should mention the house that I am moving into goes through its final inspection on Wednesday, and assuming that that passes, I will be able to start moving in at that point, which is fantastic. So videos are going to continue to be a little bit sporadic because I'm just not sure how much reading I'm really going to be able to do with the kittens requiring a lot of attention. So anyway, I read Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin, which was the June Literally Dead book club pick. I did film my thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and rewind back in time so you can see what I thought about it. All right, y'all, I am actually almost finished with Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin, and I'm going to give some initial thoughts on this one. And those thoughts are that I don't have many thoughts. So from the synopsis, I thought this was gonna be maybe satirical, a little humorous, and that's not what this is. Honestly, I feel like the blurb does not represent what is actually happening in this book at all. So I definitely was expecting something different than what I've been given. And I wouldn't say that that's like impacting my experience reading this all that much, but I don't love this. It's fine enough for me to finish, but I kind of have an idea of like where my rating's gonna be at the end of this. So yeah, I definitely was expecting something else than what this is. So the live show for this, for the Literally Dead book club, has actually already happened. I tuned in just at the very start to see what people rated it, and I'm falling, I think, in line with one of the people from that live show. I do plan on going back and watching the live show like in its entirety once I finish. I just wanted to see like the general consensus, I guess, and see what people rated it before I went ahead and finished it. But it's fine. It's fine. So we are following a girl named Shell. Shell has been through like some changes in her life. She has broken up with her fiance, she's lost her job, and she has moved back home and in with her parents and her younger sisters. And she's kind of just adrift, trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life. She sees a sign in a flower shop window that says help needed. She goes in and gets a job at this flower shop, which is run by a woman named Nev. Nev is hiding some secrets that have to do with a plant that resides in this mall, and the story kind of goes from there. Nev and Shell have like an instant connection. They find each other very attractive, and I don't want to say that a relationship develops because that's not really what's happening here. There have been a couple things that I didn't see coming, again because the synopsis, I think, is very misleading. So all in all, I'm just kind of here surface level reading. I don't particularly feel much of anything for any of the characters. Interspersed with the chapters from the plant's point of view, who goes by the name Baby, we have letters that are being written between Nev's ex, named Jen, and a friend of Nev's who also works in this same mall. The setting of this book is really, really well done. I think that's actually where this kind of shines. This is set at kind of a crumbling, falling down old shopping center that has been rumored to be closing down for years, I think, at this point. So we have ceiling tiles that are falling in, and it's one of those like types of malls that are on their last leg, where like the same types of stores like pop up in multiple places in the mall. So in this case, there's like 5 vape shops in this one singular mall, and it's just very atmospheric with the setting. So I am really liking that part of it, but the story itself, the plot, the characters, I don't really care about. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it because I'm almost done. I have this much left, so like I might as well finish it. But I've been waiting for something more exciting to happen, and that's just not what this book is, I think. So it's definitely mismarketed in terms of the synopsis, and I feel like that's probably doing it a disservice, because I think, like myself, I went in thinking it was one thing when it is very much not that thing. So anyway, that's kind of my initial thoughts. I don't really have anything else to say about this. So I am going to finish this today. I will come back and chat with you and give you like final rating and final thoughts at that point. I think the audiobook says I have like 30 minutes left or something like that. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it says I have 47 minutes left. So it's definitely going to get done today. And I will share any other thoughts that I might have on it at that point. But definitely not what I thought it was going to be, not what it says it's going to be, at least in my opinion, based on the synopsis. So yeah, I'll see you when I'm done and let you know full thoughts. All right, I have finished Eat the Ones You Love, and I'm giving it 2 stars, which is about where I thought I was gonna land, like fairly early on. I think the biggest issue that I have with this one is that I did not connect at all with any of the characters, but also, as I think I already mentioned, this is not what the summary implies it's going to be. So I just was not expecting this book to be what it was, I guess. And I really found myself not caring a whole lot about much of anything going on in the story, if I'm being honest. Where this book shines is its setting. So it is set in this like crumbling, deteriorating mall or shopping center. And the description of the kind of twisty and turning hallways that are around like the back and hidden from sight were really atmospheric. At one point, our main character Shell goes on like a journey through these corridors and things with another character to take photos, and I really liked that chapter. I felt like that was like a really nice, unsettling, creepy vibe. And while there is more of that here with the description of Baby, the orchid, the setting is really the only thing that I enjoyed about this book, if I'm being honest. So not my favorite, but it is done, and I actually need to turn it back into the library today. So this was perfect timing to get it read because it is due back and it's a brand new release, so I can't renew it, and I'm finished with it anyway. So yeah, not my favorite. I am giving it 2 stars. It's another Literally Dead Book Club book that has been checked off. I'm hoping that I will have better luck with July's pick, which is the new one by Riley Sager, With a Vengeance. I tend to like most of his books. I haven't read all of them, but of the 3 that I have read by him, I've liked 2 of them. So hopefully that bodes well for this new one. But yes, this one, not my favorite. And I really just think the marketing missed the mark, for lack of a better word, because this just was not what I was expecting it to be. So yeah, this one's done. I don't really have any other thoughts. I think the author has like some good commentary on things, but I just didn't vibe with this book at all. So yes, there you go. Final thoughts. This one's done. All right, so really quick glimpse. This is Sage. I mentioned in my last vlog that we weren't sure if Sage was a boy or a girl. Sage is a girl, and here she is. And she's playing with her sister right now, so she doesn't really want to be on camera. Let me go ahead and grab Clover. I'll give her a little cameo as well, and then we'll close out this vlog. All right, and this is Clover, my little calico girl. She's playing with these springs. If you have cats, highly recommend. They are obsessed. But yes, there you go. Those are the kittens that are taking up my time. There you can see Sage in the background. Yeah, just not a lot of reading time. They just really want my full attention, which is fine. So we've completed the first 1 week, 1 genre vlog, and hopefully the subsequent vlogs in this series will not actually take 2 months. I am planning on doing several more of them throughout the course of the rest of this year. Now, I had, as you saw on the wheel at the very beginning of this, selected 8 genres. I'm not going to be able to get through all 8 before the end of the year with other reading plans that I'm wanting to do, so we'll just get to as many as I can, and then I'll carry this over into 2026. So yeah, anyway, sorry about the mess that is this vlog. I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave me an emoji to show you we're here, go ahead and leave me a house emoji in honor of we used to live here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.